students and friends. We were discussing this chapter number 7. In this chapter number 7, till now we have finished two different kinds of tissues. First, epithelial tissue, and the second one is connective tissue that you can find into animals. Today we have to discuss regarding the third kind of a tissue, what we are calling it as muscular tissue. So let's start with the third kind of a tissue. It is called as muscular tissue. Okay, so we will learn today this is regarding the muscular tissue. So what is a muscle? Muscle is a tissue. It's made up of muscle fibers, what we call it as myofibrils. So that is the component of this muscle tissue. Okay. Now, what is the structural and component unit of this? But before starting this, what is the structural and functional unit? I just want to say that these muscles, they are made up of a number of fibers. Okay, what we are calling it as myofibrils. What we are calling it as myofibrils. Okay, these myofibrils or number of fibers, in that the sarcomere is the structure. Okay, sarcomere is the structure, and this sarcomere is considering it as the structural and the functional unit of muscle. Structural and functional unit of muscle. Okay, so this sarcomere is considered as the structural and functional unit of the muscles. Now, this muscular tissue can be categorized into different types. There are three types of the muscles which we can find. The first kind of the muscles which we can find is called as skeletal muscle. The second type of a muscle what we can find, it's called as smooth muscle. And the third kind of a muscle what we can find, it's called as cardiac muscle. So we have to learn the characteristic of each and every kind of the muscles. So let us first start with the characteristic of a skeletal muscle. So how many types of the muscles are there? There are three types of the muscles are there: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and the cardiac muscle. We will discuss the characteristic of each and every type of the muscle. Let us first start with the skeletal muscle. So if you see that, what is the characteristic of this skeletal muscle? So here the first question that comes into our mind, that why they are called as a skeletal muscle. So when we look after that location where these muscles can be found, so these muscles, they are directly attached to a bones. So what they are? They are directly attached to. They are directly attached to the bones. Means you can also call it as a skeleton. So they are directly attached to a bones or the skeleton. That's why we are calling it as skeletal muscle. So I hope so it is clear to every student that why it is called as a skeletal muscle, because they are directly attached to a skeleton or the bone. So that's why we are calling it as a skeletal muscle. Now when you see the structure of this skeletal muscle, how it looks like? Okay, so if you see the structure of this skeletal muscle, then it is, these muscle fibers are the cylindrical in nature, like this. These are the cylindrical in shapes. Okay, there are number of muscle fibers are there. So I am showing you here the three, 1, 2 and the 3. So they are cylindrical in nature. Okay, so I just write it down. What is its structure? So they are cylindrical. Okay, so this is the cylindrical shape you can observe in it. Okay, now if you see these skeletal muscles, it consists of a number of cells. These are the number of cells you can find. Okay, but here these fibers, they are unbranched. There is no formation of a branch. So you can say that they are cylindrical, and the second one is, it is called as unbranched. So this is the characteristic what we can observe in this skeletal muscle. Now these are the individual cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. These are the cells which are present. Usually we know that in the one cell there is a single nucleus is present, but here these skeletal muscle fibers are such that they are either uninucleate or multinucleate. So in some cell you can also find the 2 nucleus, in some cell you can also find the 3 nucleus. Okay, so such kind of a characteristic you can find in it. So if you see the cell of the skeletal muscles, they may be either uninucleate or multinucleate. So I can say that they are uninucleate or they are multinucleate. So this is the condition what we can find in the case of a skeletal muscle. Now what happens? The most important characteristic what we observe in this skeletal muscle. When we are observing this skeletal muscle under a microscope, under a light microscope, that what you observe in the laboratory, if you observe these skeletal muscles into a light microscope, you can find the transverse striations. Such kind of a transverse striations you can observe in it. Okay? Such kind of a striations you can observe in it. And that is only observed when it is seen under a light microscope. So when you see its appearances look like a strip or the striations, that's why they are called it as striated muscle or the strip muscle. This is the another name. So what happens when these skeletal muscles, they are observed under light microscope. Clear? When they are observed under the light microscope, you can observe the striations. You can observe the striations or you can observe the streaks. So as you can observe the striations of the streaks, these muscles can be called as striated muscles. So this is the another name of this skeletal muscle. Why it is called as a striated muscle? Because when we observe this muscle under the light microscope, we can able to see the transverse striations in it. That's why we are calling it as striated muscles. Okay, so this is the characteristic what we have observed into a skeletal muscle fiber. Now, when we look after the working characteristic, so these muscles are such that they are directly attached to a bones and they help in the movement. Usually any muscles, they helps in the movement. Whether it is a skeletal muscle or the smooth muscle or the cardiac muscle, they help in the movement. But here, these skeletal muscles are such that they are directly attached to a bones and they are voluntary in nature. What kind of the nature of this muscle? It is voluntary. Okay. So, as it is a voluntary in nature, they are called as voluntary muscles. Okay. What is the meaning of voluntary? Voluntary means they can work according to our wish. They can work according to our order of a brain. Like suppose if I am saying that I want to hand up or I want to pick up this chalk. So here the muscles of this my hand, they follows the order of my brain or they follows my wish. Okay. So this is the muscles which work or they shows the movement or it function according to our wish. And when it work according to my wish, then this is kind of a muscle is called as a voluntary muscle. So such kind of the characteristic is associated with skeletal muscle. The next thing is that here these muscles, they are supplied by SNS. SNS means which kind of the nervous system by which it supplies? Somatic nervous system. Okay, somatic nervous system that is supplying to a skeletal muscle. So when I think I want to pick up a chalk, so there is a message which is coming to this muscle, the muscles of my hand or fingers by a nerve. Okay, so these muscles, the skeletal muscles, they are supplied by which kind of the nervous system? Somatic nervous system, which is voluntary in nature. Okay, so this kind of the characteristic that can be observed with a skeletal muscle. I am again repeating what are the characteristics we can observe with a skeletal muscle. So they are directly attached to a skeleton or the bones. That's why we are calling it as skeletal muscles. They are cylindrical in shape, unbranched. There is no formation of a branch. They are either uninucleate or multinucleate. Most of the times you can find the multinucleate skeletal muscles. When these muscles, they are observed under the light microscope, you can find the transverse striations or the strips. That's why we are calling it as striated muscle, or you can also call it as strip muscles. These muscles are voluntary in nature, means it can work according to our wish. Okay, here it is supplied by the somatic nervous system. I just also want to add one more thing, that they are cylindrical, unbranched. They appear in the bundle. They appear in the bundle, means a group. There is most of the times it appears in a bundle or the group, like 1, 2, 3, 4, many. But never single fiber you can find. This is a single fiber. But the skeletal muscles are found in the bundles, single fiber is not found usually. Okay, so this is the characteristic what we observe in the case of skeletal muscle. So I hope so it is clear with the first kind of a muscle, it's called as skeletal muscle. Now we are moving ahead with the another kind of a muscle. So let's start with the another kind of a muscle. The another kind of a muscle, it's called as the smooth muscle. Clear? The another kind of a muscle is called as a smooth muscle. Okay? So, what are the smooth muscles? What is the location of these smooth muscles? Okay? So, first of all, we discuss where it is present. So, when we are discussing the location of these smooth muscles can be found into a walls of internal organs. Okay, these walls of internal organs, these internal soft organs, we are calling it as visceral organs. Okay, so what is the location? So the location of this smooth muscle, they are found in the walls of internal organs. This is the location where can be found. These internal organs, you can also call it as, they are soft in nature. So that's why we are calling it as visceral organs. And that's why the another name of this smooth muscle, we are also calling it as visceral muscle. Okay, what we are calling it as? It's a visceral muscle. Why we are calling it as visceral muscle? Because they are found in the visceral organs. Visceral organs means internal soft organs where it can be found. Like I will tell you the examples where it can be found. It can be found in the wall of GIT, gastrointestinal tract, or you can say intestine. Okay, or you can say eyeball, the eyeball that consists of a smooth muscle, or you can say lungs, the muscles present in the lungs, they are also smooth muscle, or urinary bladder, okay, uterus in the female. These are the location where a smooth muscle can be found. So this is the location where it can be found in the GIT, intestine, eyeball, lungs, urinary bladder, and the uterus. So these are the usual locations where it can be found. So these are the visceral organs. So that's why we are calling it as visceral muscle. Okay. So this is regarding the location where it can be found. Now how it looks. What is the shape of it? So when we talk about the shape, it is a spindle shape. See this kind of the shape that is going to be observed. Robert, so this is called as a spindle shape, where both the ends of a muscle fibers, they are pointed or narrow, and the middle portion is somewhat wider. So this kind of a shape is called as a spindle shape, and such kind of a shape is observed into a smooth muscle. So what is the shape of it? It is a spindle shape. Okay, so this muscle fiber are the spindle shape. The skeletal muscle, they occurs in the bundles or the group, but this muscle, it occurs singly or individually. A bundles or the groups cannot be found, so you can say that it occurs singly. Okay, and it is also unbranched. There is no formation of a branch, so we are calling it as unbranched. The another thing I want to add that here there is only a single nucleus is present. Only a one nucleus is present. That's why you can call it as uninucleate. Like other cell, it is also uninucleate. Multinucleate condition cannot be observed into a smooth muscle or the visceral muscle as it is observed into a skeletal muscle. So this is the characteristic what we found. Now, as like a smooth skeletal muscle, when we are observing this smooth muscle under a microscope, we cannot find the transverse striation. So here I am saying that the transverse striations are absent. Transverse striations are the absent. Means strips are absent, striations are absent, they are not present. Okay, so its appearance is very smooth. Okay, it has a smooth appearance. That's why we are calling it as smooth muscle. Okay, this is the reason why we are calling it as a smooth muscle, because when we are observing under the microscope, transverse striations cannot be observed, okay, and that's why it is a smooth in appearance. Okay, so this is the characteristic what we are observing. It's called as a skeletal muscle. Now the another characteristic what we found here is that here in this they are involuntary in nature. They are involuntary in nature. Involuntary in nature means they cannot work according to our wish. You cannot order your digestive system to work. Like suppose if you have consumed a food, okay, then you cannot order your digestive system start digestion and stop digestion. It cannot do. Clear? It doesn't follow your orders. Okay, that means it is involuntary in nature. It does not work according to your wish. It does not work according to your wish. So that's why we are calling it as involuntary muscle. Okay, so this is the characteristic which what we can found in the smooth muscle. Okay, so they are involuntary. Like I will also explain you with another example. Like you cannot order to a lungs stop respiration and start respiration. It doesn't work. Like hold your breath for some time. Once the limit of your body gets over, it automatically gets open up. You can pull out your fingers from the nose. This is what usually happens because it doesn't follow your order. It works according to their wish. So that's why we are calling it as involuntary in nature. Okay, so these muscles, they are involuntary in nature and they are supplied by autonomic nervous system. Which nervous system supplies to it? It's a autonomic nervous system. This system supplies to a smooth muscle. Okay, that is a involuntary in nature. So this kind of the characteristic what we can found in the smooth muscle. So again repeat, what is a smooth muscle? Smooth muscles can be called as visceral muscle because it is found in the visceral organs. Visceral organs means the internal soft organs. So they can be found in the walls of this internal organ. That's why we are calling it as visceral muscles. Like these are the few examples of visceral muscle like gastrointestinal tract, intestine, eyeball, lungs, urinary bladder, uterus. These are the few examples. It is a spindle shape. This is a spindle shape where both the ends are narrow. The middle portion is somewhat wider. It is unbranched, containing the one nucleus. Only a single nucleus is present. Here apart from that, when you observe under a light microscope, the striations are not observed. They are called as unstriated, or you can say non-striated muscle or non-stripped muscles. And due to absence of striations, its appearance is very smooth. That's why we are calling it as smooth muscle. Okay? They are involuntary in nature, which cannot work according to your wish. And they are supplied by autonomic nervous system. So these are the characteristics we can find with a smooth muscle. Now we are moving ahead with another and the last type of a muscle. It is called as cardiac muscle. So let's discuss regarding the cardiac muscle. So now we are going to start with the third kind of a muscle. It's called as cardiac muscle. So what is called as a cardiac muscle? Location of this cardiac muscle, where it can be found. So the cardiac muscle can be found on the wall of a heart. Remember where it's found? You cannot say in the heart, but they are found in the walls of a heart. And that's why we are calling it as cardiac muscle. Cardiac means a heart. So where it's found? It's found in the walls of heart. This is the location where it can found. Okay? So this is called as a cardiac muscle. Now when we discuss regarding its shape, what kind of shape it has? So it is also cylindrical. Like the skeletal muscle, it is also cylindrical in shape, like this. Cylindrical shape is going to be observed. Okay? This cylindrical shape that occurs into bundles. But what is the difference between this skeletal muscle and this cardiac muscle? That here the branching is going to be formed. Here you can see the branches are going to be formed, which is connecting the two fibers. So the branch is going to be formed. So see, what is the characteristic? What is the shape? It is cylindrical in shape and it is a branched. It is a branched. So this characteristic you can find in this one. Okay. Now when you see this cell, it has some kind of a zigzag separation between the cells. Like say zigzag separation that occurs between the cells which separate the two cells. Okay, that separates the two cells. Okay, some zigzag separation what you can find between the cells, that you can call it as intercalated disc. So what you can find in this cardiac muscle, there is a presence of intercalated disc. Intercalated disc is present into a cardiac muscle. Okay, clear? So that is forming or that is separating these cells. Okay. Now another characteristic that it is a involuntary in nature. You know the meaning of involuntary? That means it is not working according to your wish. You cannot order a heart to stop functioning or start beating. You cannot order, and even if you order, it doesn't work according to your wish. So this is what usually happens with this. Okay, so this is called as a cardiac muscle. Okay. Next thing is that here they are also supplied by the autonomic nervous system, and that is an involuntary in nature. That is a involuntary in nature. But the most important characteristic what we can found in the cardiac muscle is that it never gets fatigued. It never gets fatigued. Barabar se, it never gets fatigued. And as it is never gets fatigued, it is the most important characteristic. The heart is working 24/7. क्यारे थाकी नहीं जातो. Fatigue means थाकी नहीं जातो. Okay. So it is the characteristic of the cardiac muscle. The skeletal muscle can get fatigued. If I tell you to run for 2 kilometers, it may happen that your muscles of a leg might get fatigued. Okay, it's starting a pain. Okay, but here even the pain also occurs into a smooth muscle. But here you can say that in the cardiac muscle it never gets fatigued. So students, here we have discussed regarding the 3 types of the muscle: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and the cardiac muscles, which are the parts of muscular tissue. In the next session we will learn regarding the nervous tissue. Okay, till then students, keep learning, keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.